How's it going? Welcome to the Mystery School.
Hey, welcome to the Mystery School. Hey, guys.
Tonight.
Howdy.
Hello.
All right, tonight we got Steve Stizzo back, third time.
Yeah, welcome
all
back.
the way from across the street.
Yeah.
You're still paying for my gas, though.
And then we got, what, you're a third timer?
You're a third timer, too.
Yeah, third
timer again,
too.
Chris Arnett.
Yeah. That's like
got the three-peaters.
That's like a lucky omen there, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, Chris is playing guitar and Steve's playing organ. And first timer Mark McClure.
What an honor. I'm psyched for this, man. I've been hearing about this for quite some time now, and to be part of it is the only way to experience it, I think.
Yeah, thanks for coming out.
Yeah, thanks for coming out,
It's gonna
Mark.
be cool. I'm playing your SG tonight. Let me borrow. You got like it's like a 1970 SG.
That sounds about right. I think I bought that thing in '74. So
Wow.
I've had it since then, and so I think I'm the second owner of that thing.
Yeah, Chris helped me kind of date it because Chris is like
I'm like a geared dork, basically. I used to work in a guitar shop, but before that, like, I just used to spend a lot of time looking at guitars, like,
Did you
like pornography or something.
did you buy like those vintage guitar price guides and like memorize the prices for everything?
I do have one. I get like Rain Man with that stuff sometimes. So like I definitely like, and I learned a lot when I worked at the guitar shop, because there were dudes that were like older guys that would come in there that would bring in like, try to sell us old like vintage stuff and things like that. So they would like, I would pick those guys' brains about stuff, and like they'd be like, oh yeah, this particular Gibson's got like plastic saddles, so that means it's like this year range and stuff like that. So you just kind of pick up things. But yeah, a lot of dorking out on like weeknights. And
Did you get the plastic
Still do
saddle
that.
ones in?
no, those are actually really good. Like the mid
that's-
'60s Gibson had plastic saddles, and
That's the Angus Young guitar, plastic saddles.
yeah, it's a good one, man. I don't know why they did that, but like apparently maybe it was a tone thing. That was like the golden era of Gibson.
Well, there was a time when like plastic was a pretty cool thing to use.
Yeah, it was like this new shit.
When it was new,
Like,
yeah.
There wasn't much around. It wasn't like your whole car was made out of plastic or whatever.
The Graduate. Plastics.
Yeah, then people like,
Yeah.
People appreciated them, and now they just
now it's
bullshit.
like, no wood. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now everyone wants wood and metal.
Exactly.
Or maybe then like different types of polyurethanes, or carbon fiber was big in like the 90s.
Oh yeah,
But
there's all sorts of any way that they can make cheap stuff look cool. I guess I don't know what that's probably actually expensive stuff. I don't know.
carbon fiber is expensive. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
Plexiglass.
Yeah. Oh yeah, those Vistalite drums. Those things.
Vistalite drums, Dan Electro guitars.
Oh yeah.
Those are like balsa wood, huh? Those Dan Electro guitars.
Very light.
Have you ever seen those Ovations? Like I heard the dude that like came up with Ovation was like a helicopter like engineer or something, and he came up with that plastic back thing. And
That back is
the
horrible.
oval back.
The back
I
is
think
horrible.
it's
It's not very
weird.
strong. It'll break
You
if
sit.
it takes any kind of pressure.
My problem is like you try to sit down with the thing and it
Weird.
just slips
No.
right out.
Yeah.
It's like it's almost like a prank
fish.
guitar. Yeah.
But
Wet
it does
fish.
project better than a regular, D12 type or
Yeah, they do have a
25
lot of
style
volume.
guitar, dreadnought guitar.
for a
Unless
cheap
it's-
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're killer actually. I played one like from the 70s, and that's how the weird thing about it was it had like an aluminum fretboard, which I thought was fucking really weird.
That is weird.
But like it sounded awesome.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, this thing is killer. Like if it wasn't so ugly and weird, like I probably
Yeah.
like want to play this thing.
But hey, Glenn Campbell played one, so they sold a ton of them.
Oh yeah.
Well, there was a time when you went to concerts and that's what everybody was
Oh,
playing.
everybody,
You know,
yeah.
in the early '70s, it seemed like.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah.
They
There's a
stayed
lot
in
of 'em.
tune. The intonation was good.
Yeah.
And the selling point for the dealers, whenever you went to a convention or something, there'd be an Ovation salesman there that would grab that thing and slam the back up against a metal pole,
Oh wow.
and the thing would not
Whoa.
break.
Yeah.
Supposedly they were pretty much unbreakable.
That's
Well,
crazy. They
but
bounce.
I had one, and what do you call the part where the strings attached to the body?
Oh,
down
the
on
bridge.
Yeah, the bridge. The bridge peeled up off the face. Of
I
the
had a
thing
12-string that did that, but I was playing it at a beach in Nantasket, Massachusetts. Me and Harvey were out there
Was
strumming
it
our
an ovation?
ovations. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that thing all of a sudden it just sounded like a gunshot. Got pow.
Whoa.
And this is a 12-string, and that thing just it didn't come off the body. Half of it was still on the body. The rest of it was just like a shard, and it just like popped.
Whoa.
So
Yeah.
that's one thing I learned is don't play it at the beach. The salt
Yeah.
water and wood, and they're not good.
Yeah, the humidity, yeah. Too much humidity,
but
maybe.
mine busted the same spot.
Yeah.
The bridge
Probably
just
yeah.
kind
You're
of
getting it's like
pow.
baked in the sun and
Yeah.
got hot.
Either that or it was divine intervention.
Yeah.
They probably got tired of me playing Seals of Croft songs or something.
Was there anybody like kind of doing like a little voodoo look towards you? Maybe like somebody was
It's
like,
like too much Ventura Highway over there, buddy.
I must have missed it.
that's a 12-string ovation too. It's probably so loud and just
That's like
It
a
was
lot
pretty
of
loud.
that's a lot of like torque on that bridge,
Oh, yeah.
probably too. Yeah, I could
It
imagine.
was, yeah, if it would have hit me in the head,
Wow.
maybe would have knocked some sense in me. But
Yeah, you would
that's
think-
when you started playing drums.
that's when I stopped going to the beach.
Come back sunburn with a headache.
Yeah, not a good combo. And no strings on the guitar.
So we got Mark on the rhythm section tonight, playing the bass, huh?
On the bass.
I'm gonna give it my best shot.
Yeah,
man.
we haven't had too many pure bass players. A lot of guitar players playing bass. Maybe fourth, fifth, sixth
Mark
episode.
did start playing guitar first for a long
Yeah,
time.
I'm actually new to the bass, really.
So what's your musical journey then? How did you start on?
My dad made me play the guitar when I was really young. Before
Smart
get in there
man.
and practice. I hate the guitar.
He knew
I
it
got
was
a
gonna get you
grandson
laid.
that I'm giving lessons to. The same,
Nice.
it's the same dynamic, man.
Yeah.
What did you want to play sports when you were a kid, or what you?
I don't
Or
know.
did you want-
When you're 8 and 9 years old, you don't want to sit
That's
there for
early.
half an hour and practice. It's just
Yeah.
That's pretty damn early, actually. Like, that
Especially
seems-
for the fingers,
Yeah.
like tiny hands on
Yeah.
the guitar. So then was that your first instrument, was the guitar?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, really my only instrument.
So then what made
Steve's-
you decide to say like, hey, this is, okay, Dad, like you're making me do this, but what made you decide you wanted to do it for yourself?
Well, yeah. So eventually, that's probably the best thing my dad ever did was force me to, to play.
Yeah.
I quit playing from about 12 to 15, and then when you got back into high school, you figured, I met Steve and a lot of other guys that played music, and I thought, wow, I got to start doing this again. So I remember Steve wrote me a chart out for the song "Something" by the Beatles. You probably don't even remember that, but
No.
yeah. And so
Wow.
just started playing
Wow.
again and took it from there. I've just been playing kind of on and off, really. I go in spurts, And
Yeah.
then a friend of mine was doing a jam night at his house, and I went over there, and there was like 5 guitar players and no bass player. I said, and there was a bass there, and I really kind of always have wanted to play the bass because I in my guitar playing, I'm more of a rhythm player anyway, so I tend to gravitate towards rhythm as opposed to the other aspects of the guitar.
Yeah.
And I started playing bass with those guys, and it was a lot of fun. So we ended up playing for a while, and actually played a few parties and here and there. And then the heart and soul of the band moved to Nashville, so or no more.
Who's your bass go-to guy then? Who would you compare yourself stylistically? Or like a good inspiration for you?
Or
You
your
know, I-
favorite.
Or your favorite even?
Well, okay,
That's kind of a loaded question.
Let me see. I was telling Steve I just took a road trip and I pulled out all my old CDs and was listening to them, and I just got back into the Allman Brothers heavily. So I mean, Barry Oakley was just a fantastic bass player, and
Yep. Everybody loves the almonds.
Yeah, you can't go
I
wrong
mean,
there. It's a
not that
staple
that's
here.
jazz,
Yep.
but
Yeah.
you know,
All right, so you guys ready to jam tonight? You guys,
I'm excited.
yeah, we got
We got a
Mark on
5-piece
bass.
tonight.
We got
Oh yeah, we do.
we got Steve playing through the custom tuck and roll. I think what's it called? It's like 100 watt or
Amplifier.
or maybe it's
Yeah,
a 200 watt.
It
I
could
think
be
it's a 200
water.
It's a
Padded for
200
his
watt
pleasure.
with the Marshall
Which is probably about
412 cab.
150 more
It looks
than I
like
need.
a 1957 Chevy dashboard or something.
Or like
right?
it's like seat. Yeah, it's like car
The seat.
seats.
It's like
Yeah.
like
Or
a big
yeah, it's
I might
cushion.
take this
Yeah.
thing to Lover's Lane later on.
yeah.
You could like if you're like on tour with that thing, you could just sleep on it.
Oh yeah. It's a babe magnet.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why Jeremy has that thing. I don't know.
I don't know.
Pillow/power amp. Yeah, 412 Marshall tonight. You're gonna be rocking.
What'd you bring tonight,
I'm
Chris?
ready.
So tonight I got my normal amp because space is sort of an issue, so I didn't bring my half stack. But I actually don't have a half stack. But just
No,
a deluxe
They
reverb.
wouldn't sell it to you when you went to Guitar Center.
Yeah,
They're like, you're not ready for this.
You're not ready for So I got a deluxe reverb, and then I brought a couple guitars that I don't normally play, so we'll see how that goes. Like I have a Strat that like I'm trying to be like a Strat player, you know. But
Oh,
like,
you're a wannabe Strat guy?
well, I just never. I've always played Gibson stuff.
You were telling me like you got into John Mayer and then started getting
Oh
into
yeah, it was
Strat.
John Mayer basically, and then like, you know, I don't know, maybe some Yanni and that. No, I don't think Yanni play. He plays keyboards, but no,
All right.
like I
It's
just
not
like
true.
I feel like all like musicians eventually go to a Strat. So like, when
Really?
they- I don't know. It just seems like
I
a lot
never
of good
thought that.
players go there.
I thought everybody starts on a Strat.
That's
'cause,
what I
like,
was gonna say too.
Every
yeah.
like knockoff guitar is a Strat wannabe. That like I
Yeah.
started on a Strat.
Oh yeah,
looking
that's
thing.
that's the truth. But like back, I mean, look at like Clapton. I don't feel like. I mean, he eventually like.
Well, there's
landed
nowhere to
on a
hide with
Strat.
this Strat. I mean, it's just out there and twangy.
Yeah.
You can't hide it
They're
behind the
thin as
humbuckers.
hell,
Gibson,
so
like,
I'm not
you
used
have
to
to be
them.
precise.
you don't
on a
get many
Strat.
mids out of your
Purely
Strats.
pure
Yeah,
sound.
they're
No, you-
They're, I don't know how much Strat playing I'm gonna do. So like I just thought I'd bring it for fun.
There's no.
But we didn't discourage you, did we?
yeah.
Nowhere to hide.
I don't know. No, I've already felt that way, man. Like these things.
Strat some pure shit, buddy.
I've always played like
Better bring
Les Pauls, so it's like a Strat and a Les Paul are like exact opposites.
Oh, absolutely.
So, like
If
it's,
you like mapped out the frequency chart, it would be like a mirror image, but
yeah, I think
completely
so,
opposite.
dude. Yeah. So
Les
I'm-
Pauls, you got those thick mids, you know, and then the Strats just all lows and highs.
yeah.
Mostly highs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty much. It's a thin sounding guitar, man, but it's got a humongous neck too, so I don't know how I'm gonna be feeling that thing. Yeah, it's just a weird feeling. Like when you're
the
used to
twangy.
Gibsons and you go to a Strat, like the Strats are just like stiffer, and this thing has got like seriously like a Louisville Slugger neck. So I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably mess around with it a little bit, but I'll probably play the Les Paul mostly, and that's the other guitar I got. So you know, pretty
That's
much
cool.
it. What about you? What do you play?
I got I'm playing Mark's guitar tonight. The it's like probably a 70 SG. We don't exactly know.
Yeah, I'd say it's somewhere around there.
And then I also got Danny's guitar, the 335, which is also like a 70.
Hmm.
And then I'm doing the AC30, bunch of pedals. Got my staple pedal is the Boxer Rock. You've still never tried that thing, huh?
Yeah, I need to try that thing.
It's a cool pedal.
I do need a distortion pedal, so I think I might have to maybe, I don't know, pick one of those up.
Yeah, and Steve's on the Hammond, like what I forget what that is, the L100
Yeah.
cranked. We got the Hughes and Kettner Rotosphere, like the Leslie pedal.
Yeah. That's all I need.
Which
Yeah.
that pedal's cool because you can tap that knob or that
Yeah.
button. It's cool that it doesn't click. You just
Yeah.
tap it. You can really have a lot of control over that Leslie speed.
Yeah, it
which-
worked. It worked good last time I used it. So.
Yeah.
I wonder why they changed that, man. Like, because I have the
I
one
don't-
where you click it.
Yours clicks in, huh?
Yeah.
You could easily change that.
Yeah.
You could probably even just kind of break the switch to not
You
even
know, I think
click.
the click thing,
Stomp on it?
It probably kept wearing out all the time because if you're an organ player and you're using that Leslie all
Well,
the time, you're constantly clicking on,
yeah,
off,
they
on, off.
they
It
changed
probably
it
just,
to the clicker. Like
But
they
like
had,
the one I have is the old
Yeah.
one, and it never clicked. Even brand new, they don't
It
click.
doesn't click.
Oh.
Yeah.
but it still changes.
Yeah, but you have to hold it. It's for
Yeah.
like the slow
Okay,
speed.
yeah.
Oh, we got Cujo
We
out
got
here.
Cujo,
Yeah.
the killer dog over here.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back
You want to
from
say
episode
hello.
1.
Anytime the conversation gets good, he comes out to encourage us.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's a
He's
critic.
a big Leslie fan, apparently.
He's like, I know this. They click for this reason. And then Mark's on the jazz bass and Ampeg, basically.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is the setup for tonight.
That's tonight's setup. Yeah,
Great.
That's what you get,
jazz
man.
bass and Ampeg.
That's
What do you
Nothing
normally
more.
play? What'd you
Nothing
play
less.
at John's house?
It was a Yamaha something through a cheap amp. I don't even know, to tell you the truth.
Maybe this is an upgrade. It's possible.
I guarantee you this will be upgraded.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious. Like, you were tuning up the drums today. And
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I try to tune it into
I don't
the
know
key.
anything about like tuning drums, and I don't think that a lot of even drummers know anything about it.
We
Yeah.
tuned them to the organ tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Two
walked in
different
and you
notes,
had the
and they
organ.
sound really
I like to
good.
tune them to a specific pitch of what the band's playing. So if
Yeah.
you're typically playing an E, I got like the floor tom tuned to an E,
So it's like
The-
a triad or
the
something.
upper tom tuned to an
yeah,
A,
it's usually a triad.
and then
Yeah.
the
but
snares
you can't
like
be
a
tuning
G.
it every song, though.
Yeah,
No.
that's the thing.
And then
I
Like,
know.
you-
Yeah.
So
We're
My
playing
kick's
in
a D.
C or something, then they're
No,
like,
yeah. So you got like base
get all
your
the
set
notes.
around keys.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
guess.
Yeah, so
really,
my kick
which I
drum's a
didn't-
D, my snares an G,
Okay.
high tom's an A, and floor tom's an E.
Yeah,
What is this,
I never
ideally
knew
key of
anything
E,
about that.
Steve?
It's usually A.
That's key of A stuff
yeah.
right there.
Well, the tom, if you're using 3 tom-toms,
I only got 2
well, tell 'em
tom-toms.
what
Tenor
notes you
toms.
tune them to. and-
So I tune my high tom to an A, and my
Yeah.
floor tom to an E,
yeah.
and then my
okay.
kick drum to a D, and my
Okay.
snare drum to a G.
so what?
Okay,
key,
yeah, that'll work.
What
Yeah,
key?
so it's kinda
what
like-
key is the ideal key for
I can
those?
play in both D
It's just
and
what
E.
he said. It's
So-
usually like an A.
It's like an
Like
A.
an A chord.
Yeah, like
so,
we do an A minor, where we do a
Yeah.
lot of our stuff out of.
Yeah.
So you can do A, E, and G very comfortably.
Yeah, because that way you can play major or minor.
And then tuning drums, you have to. Sometimes you can't get some drums to a specific pitch. You
I didn't
have to-
even know
you
that
have to
there were
tune
keys.
within the range of the drum.
Yeah,
But
if you
if
got
you
old
can-
heads,
But you got to always
It's
shoot
real
for
tough,
a pitch, and you get it as close as you can. Sometimes you know you're not going to get there, and you just have to settle with it because you have to get a nice resonance and ring. But the key is to get each lug at the right tension,
Yeah.
so the right note or tone on
Right.
both up and top and bottom, and then you can tune one lug down to make it less resonant. So if you want to flatten it, you can just flatten the
Yeah.
lug,
Huh.
or go from there. But then.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay. So when you're playing the drums, I mean, are you actually thinking about the pitches in your?
I am,
drums?
yeah. I'm thinking of pitches and
Really?
yeah,
Yeah.
because like how you do fills, like when you're going from top to bottom is like a statement, and going from low to high notes is a question. So you have to match the phrasing of the group and be in key, not only rhythm and key, and and make the same statements that the band is making, or the song is making.
That's why they say that drummers are like the smartest guys in the band. Pretty
Who
much.
says that?
I don't know. I just saw that shit on Facebook or something.
I had no
I've
idea.
never heard it.
I had no idea that pitch.
That's why
went
I
into-
like it, because you do have there's a lot of room to put a lot of thought into it, and at
But,
the same time you can just bang on them and make them sound good. But
But so getting back to the playing in the key, I mean, the way you described it, that wasn't it. You described 5 different tones there, and I can't remember which.
yeah, well,
But they were
actually
all-
the snare drum's not going to really give you a specific tone anyway.
mine's pretty close.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, at least, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
It
I guess
is.
It
Mine's
the
has.
snares and
Mine's
everything,
giving me
like, with
mine's
your-
giving me as close to a G as I can hear. Like I hear
Oh,
a G
okay,
when I
yeah.
get the note, and it's in the high G. It's the highest, and they still have to be relative. So my snare's the highest.
Yeah.
Below it's a G. My tom's second highest. It's an A.
Right.
And then my
the
floor tom's
tom.
third highest, which is an E, and then my kick drum's the lowest, which is a D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, see,
So you have to get 'em within that
normally I
range.
just used to tune my tom-toms to a specific key, A, C sharp, E, something like that.
Yeah.
And the snare drum was irrelevant. And the bass drum I would just tune to where I thought it sounded good, a nice low thump.
Yeah.
I
it's-
never went specific, but everybody's got different ways to do this.
If you have time, yeah. I mean,
Probably
Yeah.
don't even notice it in a live situation
No,
as much,
no.
but
what do you do? I mean, at least with me, you might not
in
know.
this tight room though. Like the drums are actually pretty resonant.
Yeah.
so you can kind of
Yeah.
hear the ring.
And not only makes the specific note sound better, but they all resonate better together. If everything's tuned, you get the overtone. So when you hit a tom, it rings how it should if everything else is tuned. So you don't hear something on the floor vibrating or ringing out of the right vibration.
Yeah.
So it just helps all around if you do have the time. Where tonight we just had a little bit extra time, where I did just mainly have the toms tuned right.
Yeah,
and then I'm like, oh, we had time. Okay, I'll get the kick and the snare tuned in, and you go, okay, that's how it should be.
It works cool with the organ because he'd be like, give me this note, and then I'd just set something on the key, and I could just let it go. I'd just be like, put a little weight, I'd put a little whatever, sticking the microphone on the key, and it would just ring, and he'd just bang on it.
And any musician in the room could noticeably tell that when it's tuned into the right pitch. And I mean, I can hear that from a young age. Like even being a drummer, like when a guitar's sharp, you just know when it's sharp or flat. Like I can say, here, you don't need to look at the tuner.
Yeah.
You're a good listener, you can tell, and you can get the drums really close with the overtones. I mean, it may not be perfect, but you can tune each lug or maybe work with the set to let it vibrate.
Get close.
Get it close.
They probably already stretched at it too, and we're talking about this, and we're gonna go in there like they're gonna be
because
way
they got all
out.
cold.
You do have to tune them back in. But I got the good the Remo fiber skins 3 on there. They're all matching even.
The old time.
From the kick to the snare, they're all on there old time.
What is that kit? It's a Ludwig.
The old
Ludwig.
It's Steve's brother's kid actually.
Yeah.
It's like a late 70s.
Your brother, that's the drummer, right?
Yeah.
That we saw the other night. Yeah.
And so the 24-inch kick.
Yeah, late 70s Ludwig.
Huge.
What are those called? Like concert
Yeah,
series or whatever?
I think they're called concert toms. But
It's a cool looking drum kit. The kick drum, my favorite part is the kick drum is completely worn out where like the tom used to rest up on top of it.
Yeah.
It's just like it's like when a guitar is all like worn out where the guy's arm has been for the years. This kick drum has got that same kind of wear.
Well, I changed the front head on it the other day, and it had an original head on it with, instead of the plastic rim, it had the wooden rim.
Yeah.
And the wood rim was fused completely to the front drum head.
You have to kind of
and we had to pry it off to
we're
like, whoa, what is this wood rim? Like I've never seen this before.
Normally you don't have to change a front rim or the front head of a.
I mean, this thing was 30 to 40 years old. I mean, it came with the kit.
Yeah, this is like 1976. I think.
So there we go. Out of the box. I mean,
it had a huge hole in it. It had to probably
7 years old.
Yeah.
Like a 16-inch hole probably cut in it.
Most
of the thing was
it
open.
came as a full front drum head, but somebody throughout the years cut a gigantic hole in the middle.
Of the drum head.
Yeah.
Probably they just kept like breaking it and they had to cut around bigger.
Probably.
You're like, somebody accidentally bashed the mic
when we
through
started
it,
playing together back in the 70s, we never played. We were playing good sized clubs, but we never mic'd every single drum. We never mic'd the keyboards. We never mic'd anything. It was just, like you bring your own amplifier and everything comes through that. Nothing goes through the PA.
Yeah,
we're going to be out of here in 5 days anyway.
I feel like you need a super reverb.
In the 70s, too, a lot of people pulled the bottom heads off, too, huh?
Yeah.
I
did.
Sure.
Yeah, I
So,
did.
Yeah, a lot of
that's
lot
the
of that.
next best alternative. If you can't have a hole
To push air or what? Like, is that what that's all about?
Yeah,
like,
or get the right resonance tone. Miking or
you don't
the
have to worry
room,
about tuning the bottom head.
Yeah, it saves you that. Yeah, like you see it a lot.
It
like,
gives you projection for a live room if you're not miking.
Yeah.
You can play live.
And Ludwig used to make drums. I had a set of Octopus drums that were
the Octobahn.
that were made without the bottom head.
Yeah, they're almost like a rototom thing.
And you don't have to worry about
like a tamale almost.
Yeah,
you don't get any ringing. That's for
No,
one
you don't
thing.
get a whole lot of ringing.
No,
you get zero ringing, which kind of is annoying.
Well, that's what you wanted
sometimes.
in the 70s. You didn't want a lot of overtones. Everybody wanted to sound like John Bonham. The boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
You didn't want boom. You didn't want to sound like a jazz
The
player.
Bob Marley drummer had no bottom
Jello,
heads too.
so.
It looked like.
Or your pillowcase.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because that's a tighter kind of reggae drumming is like a whole different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, they pulled the bottom heads off too.
Yeah.
Reggae guys, right? Yeah, if you want it just really tight and just like that attack, you pull the bottom head off.
Yeah.
Well, one of my kits, I have the high tom has the bottom off of it, and because I play with bongos or higher drums to the left, so it's a nice transition from the higher rack tom, the lower rack tom, to have a bottom head on it going into the floor tom. So it's kind of that intermediate drum between having a bottom head and the hand drums.
There's a big difference in
between.
in sound. Yeah.
All right, you guys ready to jam?
Let's do it.
And we're still talking about drums. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm done.
All right.
As interesting as drum heads can be.
I learned a lot.
Yeah, man. Like I never knew. Like.
right, we're
back.
We're back.
Round 2, fellas.
Oh, the aftermath.
The aftermath, yeah. What'd you think, Mark?
That was a hell of a lot of fun. I really
Yeah,
enjoyed
it was.
myself. Yeah, that was just a lot of fun, man. I
was
felt there
fun.
was a connection there. So.
Well, once again, it's our favorite episode tonight.
Every time, right? Yeah, it's always a blast.
It's cool getting in there, and then everybody's on the same page right off the bat. You know, everybody's kind of like.
Isn't it a beautiful experience to jam with people? Like,
Yeah.
Well, you rarely put
That's
on
how
the
you learn.
yeah.
We rarely. How often are you really put on the spot like this? And we're like, hey, come on, you want to just play for the first time ever, and we're gonna record it and post it on the internet, and then your friends
It
might
is
find
weird.
it
The
and
first time I
insult you or whatever.
Do you guys even think about it
Yeah.
recording while it's going? Because I know Tony and I probably don't. We've
I
talked
don't
sometimes.
anymore.
Yeah, I think we
forget
get in that
all about
groove where I don't think anybody
Yeah, you
really
kinda
thinks
try
about
to
it.
be
huh?
in the moment, I think.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Just try
That's
to
the beauty of it all.
stay in the pocket.
Playing
Yeah.
music is like you're usually right there trying to.
It-
You're focused on what's happening right
Yeah,
in
it
front
takes
of you.
it takes up too much of your
Yeah.
focus to be able to be worrying about
Yeah,
its recording.
yeah. If you're doing
great.
that,
Which is
you're
a beautiful
just
thing. I
fucking
mean,
up.
you know,
It's like a kind of
Yeah.
forced meditation, you know.
exactly.
You're like thrown
the
into
the
it.
amount of focus it takes.
Or it's like maybe surfing or skateboarding or
That's-
like stuff where you're thrown into
Surfing
it. Like
or
you could
anything.
fall if you don't
Yeah.
if you don't pay attention, you're gonna fall.
That's
Yeah.
how
You
you
can't
can,
think
like,
about what you're doing.
reach
Yeah. Not-
like a
yeah, don't overthink
transcendental
it.
feeling when you're. I mean, I do it. I do that when I play music, man. Like sometimes. I mean, if you're really feeling it,
Yeah.
like you are like you can get to a meditative like state. That's like I've always said that, and like it's
Yeah.
only. I've never really meditated, but like
We've explored that
I
idea.
feel
a lot
like
here.
I've experienced what they've experienced by
Yeah.
being in the
right.
moment, playing music.
You're just like tunnel vision. Like
Yeah.
nothing. You're not even thinking about anything going on
and when you're
around
Yeah.
you.
in command of whatever's happening, and you're
Yep.
only thinking about, you're not even thinking really. Like it's just like
Yeah,
your
just
mind is like,
automatic.
yeah, it's like a weird thing, man. But
Yeah.
it's a great. I think that's the thing that makes me want to play. You know, the most. Like I don't know if there's any other reason to do it. You know?
Yeah. But there is that thing though when
Maybe
like,
chicks.
you listen back though to something that seemed really cool, right? That you did, and then you listen to a recording of it, and like it actually sounded kind of cool.
Yeah, dude. That's
So that's
fucking
like the other
sweet.
part of
That's
it
the
that
best.
you don't even notice most of your musical life because most stuff is
never
never
get
recorded.
recorded.
Yeah.
You just throw it out
Yeah.
in the ether.
And you're thinking like that I nailed that solo, but you never hear it back again, so you don't
Yeah.
even know. But
Yeah, it's cool to be recorded for sure.
Yeah, and if you can get
Yep.
used to the tapes not rolling and just play, it's an ultimate freedom because you know it'll be recorded, so you can just like let loose and maybe look back at it later,
Yeah.
but and know it's there. But
I think you're aware of it, like when you're new here, like playing at this, like the first couple minutes, like you're aware of what's, you're like, oh, this is recorded, and you're a little tentative maybe, but then it's like you forget all about that. It's kind of cool.
I feel like the awkwardness of like being in a small room loosens people up.
Yeah.
I feel like if
it
you were,
loosens people up. Yeah.
yeah, if we
Yeah.
were in like if I had like a nice quality like recording studio, I think it could maybe make it a little more tense for certain
Colder.
people. Yeah, if it's like
it's like riding three guys in like a little tiny
if you have it
pickup
all
truck.
dialed
like,
in where like you can hear yourself perfectly.
Yeah,
and
if
the
everybody
mix
had
is really
headphones
good.
or whatever, everybody
Yeah,
could
and
really
then-
hear what everybody else is doing.
When
but-
it gets kind of loud and full and like
Yeah.
blends in like that, it makes you kind of feel more comfortable, and your mistakes are kind of more buried in the
yeah,
mix.
yeah.
So I think that helps. I
It'd
know.
be kind of interesting to
What do
like
you guys think? What are
have some,
I
like,
mean?
some way to like.
What do you
go
guys aim for
random
when you
weird
jam?
places and just like have jams.
I jam for community. I try to listen to what the other people are doing and try to kind of get in that pocket myself. Especially the drummer. I was trying to listen my ass off to you and trying to,
Yeah.
try to, okay, let me see.
He doesn't stay around like
No,
you know,
there's
he shifts a lot,
of movement, which is
Yeah.
cool.
which
You got to listen.
that's good, man. Keeps you on your toes and makes you
Cool.
better. I mean,
Good answer.
trying to do, Chris?
me,
fit in, stand out.
I try to do a little bit of both. I think, you know, like I try to, like tonight was kind of interesting because I was like I never had my amp like across the room from me before, so like at first I feel like it was like a little bit like I just couldn't quite get the tone I was like after to like really like stimulate me or whatever.
Like nail your pant legs.
I guess so. Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it like hits
You
my
want to feel
ass
the
and,
wind
like,
from the speakers.
I don't know.
I think you feel the low end in your legs.
Maybe I do, man.
I don't know. I think as a guitar player, yeah, I think that you get used to that because you're always like where the amp is shooting at your leg.
You kind of feel it.
I think you just get used to just like the subtle like feel of just like the low end hitting your legs. But I don't know.
I think my ultimate goal is.
I don't like tipping my amp up because.
Yeah, I don't know if I needed to tip it, but I think when I'm playing though, like my ultimate goal is just to like, you know, just get to that place where I'm just like not thinking and just going off feeling, you know, just like, you know, just trying to, just being inspired, I guess, by whatever's happening around me. And if I'm like playing a lead or something, I mean, that's when you're playing a lead, I feel like that's where you get that feeling the most. But like where you're just like, you know, free and like you're just kind of like detached from what you're really doing, you know, like, I mean, just kind of like, I don't know.
I know exactly what you're saying.
It's hard to explain, put it into words, but yeah, just get the, like I was saying before, like to that, like that little couple seconds of a meditative feeling, you know, like that's my goal. And it's fleeting, man, and it happens for a little bit and then it's like it goes away. So I don't know. So that's my thing.
Yeah, well, I feel like you can play your best like when you get in a band situation and there's people playing, they lay something down, like it's the easiest to play then that it ever is. If you're like playing along with a CD or you're playing like by yourself.
Yeah.
Like when there's a full band like laying down a loud thing that you're playing over, it really is helpful. That's a cool thing about playing with other people, I think.
It's inspiring, man, for sure. Yeah, what about you, man? What's your thing?
Wasn't that it, I guess?
Was that it? Yeah.
No, I don't know. It's cool.
You guys do this every week, so I mean, you gotta like keep it interesting, you know?
Yeah, every week I do try to keep some things fresh, but in a sense, I always feel like we're like repeating some like motifs every week. Do you feel like that coming back like multiple times? Do you feel like we get into some things that feel very like last time, or does it seem fresh?
Occasionally.
What about you?
Oh yeah, I like Mark's answer where like I'm trying to explore a jam musically is like I'm exploring another form of communication. And each night for me, I mean, Tony and I, we're two people and like I have my boundaries where I can play in and my agenda where I want to hear something go. So yeah, it's going to sound similar, but like each musician that comes on and like at least where my effort I try to do is something different every night. And that's where my ADD comes in with drumming, where I'm not going to hold it. I want to get in that meditative state in the pocket and for like 64 bars maybe, but at the same time you're jamming. So it's like, okay, let's see how many fucking things we can do and throw it against the wall and see if that can stick. I mean, if you do 64 bars for too many riffs, like your night's gone. You got 2 fucking hours. Like, let's do as much things as we can do, you know. But I come here trying to like talk about what a jam is. Like, how do you relate to meeting new people? How do you have a conversation musically with people? Mm-hmm. And I think every time you have a conversation, though, yes, you're speaking English every time, or you are who you are, so it's going to have that commonality. But every time it's a new day, you're that much older. In this show, we're playing with new people, or it's a new night, or you're trying to push, you know, or do something different from before, or do something the same. So inevitably, it's going to be similar but different.
It's infinite. Yeah. Like the possibilities are infinite, even if we are just playing like you know, pretty basic chord progressions. Yeah, it's never going to be the same.
And the goal is to be you. Have a voice of what you're going to say, but be a good listener. Don't be the loud drunk in the room. Always having something to say. Yeah, and like let other people inspire you.
End of the podcast.
But you have 5 people in the room, and like you have your voice, and now they have a voice, and like you compliment on their story, you know, and they compliment on yours, and it's going to be different every time, though. Those voices are going to be similar in what they're saying. And hopefully we bring people over that are like-minded spirits and friends. So our story and jumping point should be somewhat familiar and the same because we want to play in this style of music. You know? If not, we're not inviting the goth kids over to like play some emo stuff.
I feel like when I take over
we would.
the jam, sometimes feel like it's somewhat invasive. Like I kind of like take it over roughly. Do you ever feel that?
I feel like, well,
I don't do it all the time, but
that's your exploration of conversation. Sometimes you really have something to say and take it over.
I do feel like everybody, like, I think it would be interesting. Maybe you should try. Maybe this would be a good idea for like a future one or something. But to have everybody that's invited, like, you know, have them kind of lead a song in the way they feel like it should go, you know? Yeah,
we've done that before too.
Has it? Yeah.
Not, not exactly. But
we've had people over and we go, hey, in the early episodes too, where we had less of a flow going, we're like, you guys have any, like the guest, do you have any songs you're working on or ideas that you want to hash out? And then we would let them play their idea or their song, and we would try to jam to it. You know, we want to try to be a good backup band. And like we want to feature the guests, really. That's been my and Tony's thing, to record this, be a fly on the wall, but bring in this other element and our friends, and like back them up, and like bring their voice out to the conversation.
It would be cool to just go around the room and just be like, all right, you know, start a bass
But I think we do that naturally. Like a conversation, though, that does happen naturally.
It does.
Yeah. Sometimes we play off the notes on the page. Sometimes we don't, because somebody will just start a riff or a drum beat, and we just feel into that conversation and we go there. Sometimes we go, hey, where did we go? We're happy. We've expressed all our thoughts, and we go, hey, buddy, you got an idea or a song? Yeah. Okay, play it. You know, or just Steve will be on the organ and he'll play a riff, and like we'll hear something. Yeah. We'll go with it. It'll stop, or like somebody will tune.
I feel like
it's natural.
There's one limitation in that, like it's hard to communicate for a change, and Tony was doing it actually pretty well tonight. I think like he was actually, and then that was kind of good, because it kind of needs like for all of us to know the cue. Like there needs to be a conductor.
That's when you're a little more a victim of the show too.
Yeah.
Where you're on those. In this setting, it does do good sometimes when we do kind of the one quarters where you're mostly just around one chord, but little melodies, you know, go off of that. That one chord.
Because I always want to
did a couple of those.
Kind of I want to expand and stuff, and I'm always ready, wanting to maybe throw in another chord or two.
You have to to do it. You have to just dig in and
you just have to kind of force it on everybody.
I know it's a little.
It's a power kind of struggle. Yeah.
Well, you got to think the conversations
feels,
you're gonna have it the first time. It's gonna be some serious tension.
You heard me do it, right? Oh, yeah. And I know how it goes. It's tension. So you better not pick a chord that's has too much tension.
Yeah, you don't.
Because you're about to lay a chord right. You know, everybody's about to go right to the one, and you're like, here you go.
Wow.
And you just put in whatever it is. You're going to the 4.
I never have the balls to do that, I guess. I mean,
I'll follow you if you do.
Yeah.
I mean,
tonight, oftentimes we don't even go that route, but tonight I was kind of going for it.
Yeah, I think that's cool, and it makes it more. I mean, usually everybody will resolve back into it, but yeah, there's going to be this moment of. But then, to make it more dynamic, to keep changing it is kind of it makes it kind of difficult.
Well, somebody throws that in, then everybody has a way to deal with that situation.
So Tony and I have the luxury of playing together for a couple of years, so we know when we want to have our changes and can communicate. Mm-hmm. So we have to learn where the guests want to, elaborate on that thought or to sum it up.
I'm usually the kind of player that can I mean, as soon as I hear it, I'm like, all right, cool. Let's do that or whatever. I'll jump on board, but it's because I'm always listening to what's going on, because I feel like that's how I started playing, listening to records or whatever.
That's the most coveted skill of a musician.
Yeah.
Is to listen.
I mean, that's I play all based on that. I don't usually, I mean, some of it's theory too, but most of it's just hearing, what's going on. But
you can't compose a theory without listening.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the only thing, is sometimes it does feel like you're a little bit confined, because you don't want to throw out a monkey wrench in the whole jam,
Yeah. But all in all, you have to.
You kind of do to get away.
You have to throw a clever monkey wrench to maybe where it doesn't hit people too bad, but they see that you threw the monkey wrench.
That's the key, I think, and that's where when you're only been playing for a couple times with you guys,
we're willing to go there with you too. We want to feature the guests.
Steve is a guy who, when the monkey wrench throws,
he's ready.
Steve can swat it back.
Yeah, he'll hear that and
he's ready all the time.
He'll jump right on the monkey wrench.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it all. Was never worried about Steve. It was mostly just me.
I know.
Yeah, no, No, it was good though. I mean, I think that's the only thing though. Like it is kind of hard to get like super intricate, but I mean that's what happens when you're in a band, you know, and you're purposely trying to write things like that. I guess I don't know. But
I don't know. You just shoot for some cool moments, I guess.
Yeah, and that always happens. So we always have some cool moments. Which is
You got anything to add, Mark?
No, I felt some cool moments out there myself, and I was grateful for them, man. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was cool having you play bass.
Yeah, man.
It's like you guys have an energy that I envy in a lot of ways.
Yeah, we should do a more round robin too. We should have got you on a guitar for a song, on your own guitar, man.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
I can't play a keyboard, so I wouldn't be able to do that. But I could probably try to play some bass.
So hey, Steve, you back on the mic?
It's right here.
You got any pointers for the mystery school students?
No, I haven't got anything.
You don't?
No.
You're a
nothing.
seasoned musician. Well, like throughout the years.
I was
mean,
like 3 hours ago. I'm a tired musician right now.
Overseasoned.
fair enough.
Yeah, I'm a little overseasoned.
So any last words for the kiddies out there, or advice for the mystery school crew on how we
maybe
get this going?
any solo worth playing is worth overplaying.
Okay.
That's my motto right there.
Yeah.
That ties right into what Chris was talking about too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that it? Anything else, Professor?
I like the idea of...
Keep your ears open and your mouth shut.
I think it's true to, like, don't feel like you're showboating. Try to, like, do something crazy. Like,
Yeah.
people are there to watch you play your instrument. And you, like, do this, you know, you play your instrument, like, sometimes you're practicing at your house, just going wild. Like,
Yeah.
don't feel like you're kind of showboating. Just,
Push
like,
the boundary, yeah.
say, push yourself and
Express yourself.
not feel like you're, like, being cocky about it. 'Cause
Yeah.
Yeah, try something that you've never tried before. Maybe. I mean, you may fail at it.
Yeah,
It might
also,
suck,
yeah.
But you know.
But the failing
Could be
can
awesome.
sound cool too. I like, you know, like some of like those Wilco songs, like
Yeah,
are
there's
like
all-
this thing that sounds like, you know, a dying animal, and you're like, oh, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, totally, man.
There's something cool.
Do it
in,
with
like,
confidence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Everybody likes watching somebody take a fall, right? Why not just do it on stage too?
Oh, that's what
Well, yeah, that's
jam
what-
is about. Listening to that.
Yeah,
hearing
it builds
people come back
tension
from
in a
that.
song
wow.
as long as you can stand back up or whatever, you know, or like.
Yeah, that's how you learn stuff. You know, nobody ever plays their first solo perfect.
Oh no way.
You know?
That's the fun of jamming too. Sometimes you try to do a riff or a lick way out there and you fail on it,
Oh, yeah.
but you're like, wait a second, like I'm gonna execute my fail now, and like that becomes something that you didn't even think of before. You're like, fuck the whole, you know, what I was trying to do before.
Yeah.
I mean, let's do that lick, you know.
Yeah,
You-
it's easy to
you
like.
re-inspire yourself through failure.
It's kind of easy to just like rely on your bread and butter stuff.
Yeah, it's not really a mistake until you play the
Yeah.
wrong note
Get outside
after
your
the note
comfort
that you
zone.
didn't intend. You know, it depends on, you get a wrong note, you got a couple of different ways to go from there. So
Yeah, you got 1,440 overtones to play with.
Yeah.
Use them all, man.
Well, if
Like,
you're
yeah,
creative,
not to mention all the rhythmic
yeah,
equations in there too.
all the
you can hit a
dynamics
wrong
involved.
note though, and then later play something that corrects your wrong note.
It's not
the
a
transition.
Yeah, you're like, I abruptly hit you with this note, and then I showed you why I used it. You know,
Yeah.
by like
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
weird.
Incorporated.
It's pretty hard to do, but it's definitely possible. Like,
a
when you
wrong
get
name,
good at it.
Humans
a wrong
justify it
note
all the
is
time.
directly
It's a half
connected
step
to the
away.
next note that you play.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Depends on what the next note you play is.
Yeah.
yeah. It's like when you give up and accept that it was a wrong note. That's when you fail. Like you have to be like, no, I'm gonna correct this.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna dig my way out
Justify
of this
my
hole.
actions
Yeah,
instantly.
yeah. Dig yourself a hole and then like
Yeah,
get out of it.
Get
It
out
really
of there,
like
yeah.
you're right. There's like, I mean, there's chromatic scales, you know.
There's
out there
always a way out.
for a reason, you know.
Yep.
It's like there's always, you know, there really isn't any wrong notes.
No.
I mean,
Even
you
just
just don't want
stopping
to hang
for a
around
second
certain
and
notes for too
count to
long.
two.
Yeah, yeah.
Take a deep breath and then come
10,000
back
jazz
in.
musicians can't be wrong.
Well, then the truth is, like you're all caring about that at a gig, and then nobody was paying attention. When you get up, you go get a beer.
Yeah, I messed up at
like,
that part.
Nobody
man.
was even paying attention. Yeah.
Man, what?
Oh,
you
yeah.
were playing guitar?
You got to hit that wrong note like 12 times in a
You're
row.
like, oh,
That was cool.
I
You
was
did a
outside.
tambourine solo.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny, man.
I know. Oh well.
Well, hey, the spoils of war, fellas. We did it again.
Let's wrap it up. We've kept
We've
these
conquered.
people around way too long, as it is. I think.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming out, everybody. Yeah.
Oh man,
Mark,
thanks for
Steve,
putting
Chris.
it on,
Always
man. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was.
Well, hey,
Van's been running
you
around.
got anything to say? Signing off, Van?
Great.
I agree.
See, there are no wrong notes.
All right. Can you say
Mystery
Mystery
School.
School signing off? So, he's just gonna yell.
You could do it, man.
Well, Mystery School signing off.